So. Agenda. I apologize. I'm running a little behind this evening. Like I said, I was at home, got a little workout in, was like, I'll shower up. It's been busy at work, heading to the township, no water pressure. Had to drive up the beach, grab a shower at the office, come back. No way to get here. There was everything's blocked because of flooding. I felt like it was really just, yeah. Right.
He just parachuted in a minute ago. Yeah.
Felt like it was sort of everything was lined up against me tonight, but that's okay. Well, we're here. Hopefully the water pressure, that's got to be, I saw guys scrambling up at Bradbury and White Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Okay. Really? Gotcha. So just out of curiosity, the main water then must come up from the creek, basically from 9 Mile, sort of where the main runs in, and then it comes up into this area. That must feed in.
Yeah, it's like 49.
Oh, okay.
There's storage tanks right here. Yeah, I like it.
All right, let's get started. You guys ready?
Ready?
Debbie, you want to call us to order?
Here.
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 All right, from the pledge. Doug, how about you lead us?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. All right, so approval of minutes.
So moved. Seconded.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
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 Okay. Eddie, should we hop into departmental updates, or did you have an extension on that emergency?
Yeah, if you want to amend the agenda, all that.
Okay. So, do we need a motion to amend the agenda?
Yes.
All right.
Motion
Okay.
to amend the agenda.
Yes.
Right.
Second motion.
Motion and second. Roll call.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now that the agenda is amended.
There's a resolution.
Yeah, so it's a resolution 2025-008, and the purpose is to consider the extension of the emergency resolution that expires on Wednesday morning.
Okay, so Eddie, I appreciate you being prudent and only essentially putting this in place for as long as we need it, because we don't want to abuse our power, right? We only want to put it as long as we need it. But now I have to read it twice, which is
I don't know that you have to read the entirety, but
do I have to read the whole thing? What's going on here?
The headline of the resolution and then make it.
The top of it is okay?
Yeah,
Or-
and I
Go
can
ahead.
just
Or we
summarize.
could do this like teamwork and each one of us can read a paragraph.
That's right. This thing was so,
Resolution.
gotcha. Okay.
So the only
So,
change that is it extends the expiration from Wednesday to the Friday after next.
So to give any context, we passed an emergency resolution on Saturday. That has various different things related to the flooding and kind of gives our staff the ability to act as they need to address some of these problems that are urgent. And so we passed that in the abundance of just sort of being prudent where we weren't extending it too far, and it's expired already. So we're going to extend it a little further, right?
Yep, that's right.
So it's the same resolution I read through on Saturday. It was just brutal. If we have a recording of it, somebody can pull that up.
got it,
It's
Carl?
the same thing. It's Pierce Township, Claremont County, Ohio, emergency resolution number 2025-008, a resolution to amend emergency resolution 2025-007 and index or extend. So 2025-007 was the one we emergency passed on Saturday. And we're just looking to extend this a little bit to allow emergency personnel and everybody to have the resources and the ability they need to deal with some of these situations. So unless there's any other discussion, I would look for a motion.
A motion. Second,
I have a motion, a second.
but I'll only second if you read it.
I knew you were gonna do that. Alan wants me to fumble through this thing again.
No, no,
It wasn't good. It was not great.
it was perfect.
It
It
was
was
okay.
perfect.
It was-
I mean, if I'd done it, I would have drifted off and
That's right.
squirrel, I mean,
That's right.
you did
It
an
was
excellent job.
I know. It probably a record resolution.
Y'all don't want him to read it. It's awful. I mean, look at this thing. Look at this.
We would all be sitting here for a little while.
And
Thank you,
you
Katie.
should have read the table.
Thank you,
too.
Katie. All right, so I have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that was painless.
All right, moving on. Departmental updates, police.
The police department was awarded a grant through the state of Ohio to pay for our body camera expense for the coming year, $13,243.80. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief.
Quick.
Chief Wright?
Just a quick update on the fire engine. It is here, sitting out in the bay. I think our original plan was to try to have it sitting out front for tonight. Then Mother Nature had a change of plans, so we're running behind and weren't quite prepared for tonight. But the engine is out in the bay if anybody wants to see it. Trying to finalize the schedule to get the graphics done. We have mobile comm scheduled for the radio install coming up. We're working on equipment. I think there's a motion tonight to purchase a piece of equipment for the truck and probably have a few more next month. So moving forward. Our training crew is working on training for the truck, putting the stuff together so we can do staff training, and there's a lot of pieces to get it in service, but we're trying to move as swiftly as we can. And just road project update. I mean, outside of everything being flooded, White Oak project is getting closer to being completed, which is nice. 749 is they indicated it's it's a 6-month closure. They may have it done as early as 3. We had some concerns this week over the torrential rain and how that was going to impact the roadway that was open and if it was going to slide. But I talked to ODOT this morning, I think, and there was no slippage or anything. So once the crews can get back in there, they'll start working on that roadway. So hopefully that'll be not the full 6 months. The county engineer's office is later this week planning to continue some daytime closures on Hopper Hill, working on cross culverts in preparation for paving of that road. And then the Bradbury project there'll be a closure coming for that on 9 Mile. We've coordinated with the engineer's office to make sure that Hopper Hill and 9 Mile can be closed at the same time. I can give you any kind of update you want on the flood if you have questions. I don't know specifically what you would want to know, as of this afternoon, the river did crest this morning. It's really slow to go down. I think our official crest was 60.9 at the Cincinnati gauge. It's a little off here. We're just far enough away from the Cincinnati gauge, just far enough away from the Meldal that we don't always follow either one. So he's kind of figure it out. I think as of this afternoon, there's 89 properties that were impacted by floodwater in the impacted communities collectively. I think 3 of those homes were in our township. There were 79 total electrical shutoffs and 39 gas shutoffs so far due to structures that took water on, majority being in the village of New Richmond. So there's still a coordinated effort going on to work on the debris management side. I know John's been involved in that with the county and all the communities, how we manage that flood debris from the houses. Faith-based nonprofit and volunteer groups. If anybody remembers the flood in 18, we're going to follow a similar model in the village where we're going to have Tide Loads of Hope down there, shower trailers, restrooms, and a bunch of donation stuff, coordinating a bunch of donation drop off and collection stuff for all of the communities impacted. So it's a whole lot easier when we all work together for the same purpose instead of everyone doing our own thing. So a lot of things in motion. It's been a really long week for all of us. Everybody's chipped in. John's been here on and off around the clock, helping. Our staff has been out, just for perspective, fire staff's been out every 3 hours since the river started coming up, just to update on road closures, access points, and PD's been helping with people that choose to drive around barricades and drive into the water and all of this fun thing. So it's been a good team effort. Everybody, Eddie's jumped in and helped any way he could. Carl's been part of the Joint Information Center at the county. So it's been a big team effort. So I appreciate everybody's help and support. That's all I have unless you have questions.
Eddie, do you want me to bring up the issue of ODNR and OEPA now? Or do you want to wait?
Sure. Yeah.
One of the things that these guys have done a fantastic job in dealing with is that over the years, we've had many floods in that same area. And the team comes together from the county to, ODOT to, the locals. And from that, we've learned a lot, and we see that different players come to the table and make the plan work over time. One thing that has been missing this time is ODNR, the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, and the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency. And the reason why that's significant is that as the water comes up in New Richmond, it also comes up at Beckjoy. That can have a negative impact because they are working right now on adding layers to the ponds that are there that have tremendous amounts of pollution inside of them. Those are oftentimes, or at this point, they're pretty fresh. So with this torrential rain, with the water coming up, there could be a whole host of significant disaster issues that could go along with it. You've not been on the site in how long?
It's been quite a while, probably a few years.
Right. So as that team.
Is that with me with the drone or?
I was there a little bit after that, but
Were you?
The
that was one of,
drone flying.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, it becomes very frustrating because the people who are supposed to be providing oversight on that particular location, that site, that project, they're nowhere to be found. They're not sitting at the table planning with you, correct?
correct.
I think they gave you a 1-800 number in case the dam broke. Call us on a 1-800 number. We'll come down from Columbus and help you out. So having said that, I would like to see our township draft a letter to the governor's office stating that in the future, ODNR, OEPA, they need to be sitting at the table for these issues. I know that earlier I wanted to see the emergency plan that ODNR has, because ODNR has jurisdiction over
Right.
the dams that hold that crap in. And so they're nowhere to be found. If that broke, you got FB that's on site that's doing the remediation. But at the end of the day, there's no one there to, tell us how do you work? How do you create this emergency net that can get in there quickly and respond? My feeling is that it's a huge missing part. And it's been my fear for a long time. I've not seen an emergency plan. I've not seen a maintenance plan. I've not seen any kind of, long-term reporting that, when the trustees that are sitting here in 100 years and that thing acts up, who's watching it in 100 years? Who's watching it in 10 years?
Or
Who's watching it now?
even a year.
Even a year.
I'm so surprised to hear that. I'm surprised you haven't had any plans or anything from. It's very surprising to me.
Right.
Kind of being facetious on that end. But
I actually was a bit surprised that they weren't more forthcoming, and that when someone reached out and said, ODNR, can you be at the table? They came. They didn't. We got a lovely.
But you have
1-800
a bunch of agencies and you have them all finger pointing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not our thing. It's not our
Right.
thing. And if the water runs up over top of that stuff, be sure there's a bunch of fly ash in there and it has high levels of mercury.
Yep.
And so
There's
then it
zinc,
ends up in the
mercury.
river, and then we also have a aquifer.
Yep.
That the county draws water from right next to that.
Right.
So it is a concern.
But even on a more granular level, you've got the issue of if something happened, our guys are going to have to hit the ground, right? They've not been in that site. They've not done any tabletop exercises. They don't know what the site looks like because it's all changed. The terrain is completely different. once they hit the ground, it's going to take them time to just figure out what's what.
Mhm.
And so I'd like to, as a part of that, not only ask for that emergency plan. Now, I'll get back to that in a second. Not only ask for the emergency plan, but get a briefing on what the policy is, what the procedures are from ODNR and from OEPA. I want them to come down here and brief our guys on what their strategy is. But then the third part of that is to commit to doing exercises and training. Remember, we had some issues with what was a Tesla that caught on fire. Our guys got around that. They trained and they figured out how to respond to those sorts of things. Our guys need to have that kind of training. So if something happens, they can be on site and they can be effective right away. And that has to also be from New Richmond. It should also be from Anderson as well. So that's the third piece of what I'd like to see in that letter, demanding that ODNR and OEPA start working on tabletop exercises and training for you
So
guys.
to whom are we gonna send a letter in which they ignore it immediately?
This is going to go to the governor's office,
Yeah.
and we're just going to go over. They're going to. What I'm suggesting is we go to their boss.
Gosh,
So we'll CC them, but we're going to go straight to their boss and say this is unacceptable. It has to change. Now, I will say one caveat to what I just
yeah,
said.
yeah.
It was today that you received a plan from CLP that purports to be their emergency plan. So we haven't had a chance to take a look at that, but it could be the same plan that ODNR is operating off of. We just don't know.
Okay.
So I just wanted it to be known that CLP did provide that at some point today.
Okay. So, and preferably this would be on the agenda, but this is a moving target, right?
Yes.
This has been happening quickly. So, all right. So what, you're asking for the, us to direct staff to write a letter to, you want to state it as you,
A letter to the governor's office, asking for three things: to direct ODNR and OEPA to provide the emergency plan that they're operating off of for the Beck George site. The second would be to provide a briefing to our emergency services folks, and that's emergency services folks for a regional scope. Provide a briefing from those agencies so that we can better plan. And then the third part is to provide training and tabletop exercises moving forward so that our guys can be prepared and trained as best we can. Those are the three things that I would ask for in the letter.
sounds reasonable.
It might be helpful if we had co-signers on that letter, like the Village of New Richmond and or the county.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I'll make the motion, or you make the motion, I'll second it.
You need a motion to direct staff.
Okay.
If you want to sign the letter, we can do a motion of the execute signature.
All right.
We're making motions. Let's direct staff. Do I have a motion?
We have a motion. I'll
Do I have a
second.
second?
Yes,
Roll call.
Pete.
Hey, not gonna hurt anything. Yeah,
No, to
absolutely.
direct staff, to direct staff.
We're just overkilling.
You just wanted to tell somebody to do something.
Well, you know, the problem is this
Yeah.
does solidify a little bit and it makes it really more official.
Yes.
Yes.
You
All right.
did your roll call while we're talking.
All right. So here's the deal. Craig, you've done an outstanding job down there too. I want to give you credit for that. You sound tired, you sound worn out. And you guys always dig in and provide as much support and assistance to the village and everybody else down there as you possibly can, because of areas of Pierce that are affected are somewhat limited. I mean, like Palestine and a little bit down there, but you guys always help with the command post and setting that up and everything else. So I really do appreciate that. I know you put a lot of effort into that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So I just did want to say that. Do we have anything else on the flooding that we want to discuss before we move on?
Not that flooding, but in a minute.
Okay. All right, Service Director Kohler.
just want to congratulate Norm on his 5-year anniversary for being here.
I'm surprised he lasted that long. I mean,
Most of
geez,
them lasted that long.
geez.
And then we did start on our curb and gutter replacement for the patches that we had to do. We got started in East Legendary. We got all of it done before all the monsoon rains came, so we're a little ahead of the game this year, which is a good thing. So
Good. Anything else, John?
yeah, all our Bill Sullivan, who mows our grass, he's gonna try to get the grass cut in the park before the Easter egg hunt, but with how much rain we've gotten, and then we're supposed to get more tomorrow. He's just worried about making it a big mud hole.
Tomorrow's
So-
okay. There's really no real chance they change that.
Yeah,
forecast.
he's gonna try to
Get
get
him
it
out
done
there.
tomorrow,
Let's get it mowed.
but if it's way too muddy, he don't want to make it a big mud, like a mud mess.
I understand how mowing works, but I think you should get out there and sort of mow the grass a little bit. Let's see what we can do on that.
Like I said, he's gonna try.
Yeah, well, let's see what he can do. He's got a nice contract with us, doesn't he? He's got a nice contract with us, the mowing guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good deal for him. We may want to shop that around too this year. That was another thing that I wanted to talk about at some point, is shopping that mowing contract around a little bit. All right, thanks, John. Anything else? Let's see, Parks and Green Space, Doug, come on up.
All right, the work day that is rescheduled to the 5th, obviously did not happen a little bit because of the rain. That's now reduced to 19. It's just a general cleanup, bring the parks, go here, so it's still ready to go. Easter egg hunt is scheduled for this Saturday, right now, weather forecast is good. It starts at 10 a.m. All there's a showing up, 8:30 to start, and spread out. Send an email out there that we just kind of schedule each money, for line at 10:15, and we'll start on at 10:45. The folks have a chance to know better, so you can call that. Also have, Crossroads Church is reached out for their volunteer day, which is May 17th, so we're giving them an opportunity to do so. Beautification of the park, the inputs there, there's some, flowers and that type of thing. Things for them to do. For that, we will do, folks be over. Let's get about 10 volunteers. A big citywide volunteer day, where they reach out and do some things, they reach out to them. So,
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
All right, anything else? Questions, comments, concerns on Parks and Green Space? No? All right. Administrative and Planning, we have a new staff member to welcome.
Yep, I
Christine.
want to welcome Christine Seltzer. She started just a couple weeks ago. Totally hit the ground running, has a lot of experience from the city of Milford as well as University of Cincinnati. So been tremendous having more people in the office, and she's been totally hit the ground running, no guidance needed. So pleasure to have her here.
Welcome aboard, Christine.
Glad to have you.
I need some employees that can hit the ground running like that. Where do you find her? Is she just already at Milford, ready to go? So how long were you at Milford, Christine?
3 years.
3 years?
Mhm.
That's great.
I'm actually from the Milford area. so
Uh-huh. Well, welcome aboard.
Thank
We're
you.
glad to have you. All right, Eddie, what else? Do we have anything there?
Yeah, just a couple other items are the White Oak water main easement request. So we've gotten a request, but it's kind of working through some of the legal channels just to make sure that everything makes sense before we bring it to you guys. But we'll get it to you as soon as possible. I've been working with Rick Stram at the county engineer's office, and he's checking with the prosecutor on just a couple items that we had and needed clarification on. And Beckjord Road, we have a request for a traffic management plan. There's a motion later on the agenda as well for that. We've been working with FB remediation and as well as through the engineer's office. The engineer specifically requests that the township provide a recommendation. They have to get our feedback and input on when they get those requests, particularly on township roads.
Are you going to go into some more detail with that with at the time of the motion or?
Yep, 100%. I can get into
Okay.
it anytime you want, but there's a specific, they have a brief application description and then a site plan showing kind of what their management plan approach is.
And that includes closures at intervals as requested.
Yep, they actually
Okay.
don't plan any closures. They want to put mast armed street lights in.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. In the event that there are any future requests for closures, especially in the spring with the flooding and so forth, as we've seen, we would want to make sure we're all over that before we
Absolutely.
start closing Beck Jord Road to, further limit access to certain neighborhoods. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. That's all I have.
Can we go back right quick to White Oak Waterline easement request? Given the condition of White Oak Road and how it's been left by the water company, this easement, explain where this easement is and who wants it.
The county would like the easements.
The county who?
County's engineer's office, I
Okay.
believe is what made the easement request. And
Yeah.
it's been kind of corresponding with them. We are going back and forth on the easement language because there's been some language within the easement that said that if there is a water easement that we've granted the county with respect to the installation of these water pipes, that we couldn't pave over them in the future without county permission. And so I think that's kind of what's been a hang up with respect to this. We want to be sure that we protect the roads going forward. And if we do road work in the future, that we're not, I mean, the county, I'm not saying that suggesting that they would shut down that request, but we just want to be sure we're protecting our rights to pave in the future, or we won't be like, having to ask to repair our own roads. So that's just kind of where we're at. I think we went back to the county in the last negotiation and we're waiting to hear back with respect to that. Eddie might have more information. That's what I'm privy to at this time.
Yeah, no, that's spot on. And then another factor that's kind of related to that is that there have been some discussions, and John was really helpful as far as kind of on spur of the moment last week. We drove White Oak because we've been getting a number of complaints about the condition of the road. So we took a look at it, and there's been a lot of communication as well. I know Trustee Kelly as well, but Ainsley Napke, who works for the water department, reached back out and mentioned that she was going to be going out for herself, taking a look at it before they kind of let the contractor move along. So they're aware that the actual status of that road is not satisfactory at this point. And so they're going to look and see what they can do to actually improve that. As it stands now, that road is going to be repaved in 2026. And so they understand that that's a wide gulf to have to live
Okay.
with for.
Okay, so
Wow.
so then what happens to it between the end of this project in 2026? Condition of the road, yeah.
That's up to the township, the county, whatever arrangements that you all figure out.
Well, right now, there's no arrangement. It is the county's road. And the county's obviously treating it like it's road because it looks like crap. And by the way, I drive an F-150, it kind of sits up high. There's a part on, I feel like I'm yelling at you, but I'm not. I'm just looking at you. And there's a part that rolls right off as you get just past, you're getting, west of Bradbury or Merwin 10 Mile, and it rolls right off. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would be like with someone who isn't driving an F-150 or a pickup truck, right? And so that road is in such horrible condition. Are we going to, is this the condition we can expect it to remain in until 2026?
So that's the number one question. And we let them know that that's not going to be acceptable within reason. They've said that, made an attempt that they were going to work with us to get it to a satisfactory condition. Again, some of the
There
treatments.
isn't really working with us to get to a satisfactory condition. There is a satisfactory condition.
Right.
And it needs to be in it. And when those guys leave, that road needs to be in a condition that is acceptable to Pierce Township. And that's the only thing. So as far as the negotiation, in my view, if you want the easement, I don't care which part of county you're in, I'm disinclined to acquiesce to any easement until you get this done. So you move it up and you get it paved 2025. Whenever that crew gets off that site, that thing gets paved right away. And it's the condition that Pierce Township wants it in, not the condition that we're going to accept for the next couple of years until they're ready to pay. What do you figure they'd get to us June, July, August of 26.
Yeah, that's usually when the paving comes.
So we get a nice patch job. But that's about it. I was really disappointed about Bradbury. I mean, their trucks ended up crushing part of the side of the road and they left it that way. You know, and that it's, so from my view, I'm not inclined to negotiate anymore until they give me a date that's June of 2025 to get this thing done. Right.
Just to clarify, the water main project, that's it. Not the current part of White Oak is phase one. Phase two.
Oh, that goodie.
That next phase that they want to try to get.
Well, then let's stop the next phase until they get the last phase done. You finish the project you're on properly and to our satisfaction, or you can't have the next project.
Okay.
And I'm happy to
So-
call Lyle and let him know. So I don't know how we would proceed with something like that, but
I think perhaps we give them a little time to respond. I agree, it's totally unsatisfactory the way it sits now. I've driven on it. And not, I actually have a F-150 as well. But I've driven on it with a car that's not an F-150, and I find myself in the other lane trying to avoid all the plates that aren't really straight and
If they're there.
holes and things like that. So I totally agree, 100%. But we have just started this communication with the county. Perhaps we should give them just a hair amount of time in good faith to kind of figure out what they can do here to get things back in order and then sort of go from there.
when is their next meeting?
It'll be the 14th, I believe, May.
How about they come in and tell us when they're gonna get that thing paved by the 14th
Of May.
of May?
That
At
sounds
our board
reasonable.
meeting.
Yep.
About the
And like you
negotiation.
said, we're not letting this go till 2026.
No,
So we'll
we
figure something
can't.
out. But I do think they've been responsive with emails and they seem to be responsive thus far. I'm not advocating for how they've left the road thus far. It's been completely unacceptable in my opinion. And I actually drive it a fair amount. So
Imagine
it's
you
not
don't.
like I don't have skin in the game. I do.
Well, I know,
Um,
I understand that.
But they're making improvements and I think they could have done a better job of temporarily patching, and I know winter time and all that stuff, but nonetheless, let's give them a little time. How's that sound? Maybe.
What is the action item that we want to walk away with? I mean, that we want to have we want to have a date, we want to know what their game plan is to get this thing tidied up.
I mean, you don't need an action item for that. I mean, you've directed us, Eddie and I are in the negotiations, so I don't think there's anything on the agenda tonight with respect to this.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we'll do a motion. No, I'm just kidding.
Nobody wants to add it to the motion.
I love motions. Let's just do-
You're in a motion kind of mood
I
tonight, huh?
am. Get things done. All right, no, that's not Pete. do you have-
Yeah, real quick before we leave this topic, since we're on the topic of road repairs, this discussion sparked me to think about the damage on Beckjord Road, which is pretty substantial down towards the bottom. Those plates have been running over the last few days and they're loose. They seem loose. I don't know how safe they are, but that roadway is certainly in disrepair and will be in additional disrepair, I would think. Who's responsible for remedying that? Or is the county responsible, or is the cleanup company responsible for remedying that, or what?
So that's one thing I've been talking to the engineer's office about. They indicated that they would be working with the contractor to bring it to standard. I can get more clarification on that to just confirm exactly how they will handle that process, what the mechanics will be. If you want, and that might be something that we can add as a specific condition if you want some additional coverage on that we feel like.
Yeah, I think so. It's in pretty bad shape and I would hate to let them get away scot-free and let the taxpayers pay for that when they created the damage. And it would be maybe helpful to ask somebody to take a look, Craig, Chief, maybe just to make sure those plates are like they're supposed to be. They seem a little loose to me, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's how they're supposed to be, but just to make sure that they're safe. Thank you. That's all I had.
Good. I think that does fall under the same sort of umbrella as our discussion with the other road.
Yep.
All right. Any other discussion on that topic? Okay, so back toward road requests. We're through everything, right? We're on a new business. All right, new business, Debbie.
Motion for approval of the payroll for the month of March in the amount of $499,968.74.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Freeman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Request a motion for approval of the payment of bills for the month of March in the amount of $1,624,054.72.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
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 Request a motion for approval of purchase, make up the purchase order for the interest payment from June first and the principal and interest payment from December first. And the total amount is $124,651.28 for the Chase Bank for the 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
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 Oh my God.
How much was the principal pay?
I didn't break it down on my motion, but that's the total for the interest and principal. I can go get it if you want.
I would like, I mean, it would make sense if we knew what the interest was, because it's like $1 million. And you've got 124, which is 10%, so I don't know what the interest was originally, but it would be nice to know what the last year's interest is, the next half year's interest is, what the principal payment is in percent.
We would have approved this already with a certain interest rate, correct?
Yeah.
That we're paying, so,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm just saying it, but yeah, she can definitely get you that info. Okay,
To the conversation schedule.
all right, anything else? All right. Chief Broxton.
I request a motion to pay the annual renewal invoice for Lexipol LLC in the amount of $6,773.40. Lexipol provides updates to the police department's policy manual based on changes in case law, best practices, etc. The invoice covers a period April 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Chief Wright.
I request a motion to accept the resignation of full-time firefighter EMT Tyler Schmidt effective March 14th, 2025 at 1,400 hours.
I'll make the motion, but I have a question. We have three resignations.
Yes.
Are these tenured people?
Um,
Have they been here a while?
yes, they have. Yes, sir.
Oh, that's disappointing. I'll make the motion, but okay, thank you.
Second.
Motion and second, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
And Mr.
Yes. Chief Wright.
I request a motion to accept the resignation of full-time firefighter paramedic Andrew Petronio effective March 17th, 2025 at 10:30 hours.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and second, roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Yes.
I request a motion to accept the resignation of part-time firefighter paramedic Roy Short Jr. effective March 31st at 0600 hours. And if I could, I'll add Roy's been here a long time. He's probably one of our oldest tenured part-time members. And the only reason Roy is resigning is, for those that don't know, he was appointed Central Joint Fire and EMS new fire chief effective April 2nd. So part of the terms and conditions of his position, he can't work anywhere.
Yeah.
So I have asked Roy to come to the May meeting so he can be recognized.
Great.
I see. And then otherwise, we got a full timer and another part timer. The part timers are hard to keep around. Are they not?
Well, it's hard to find full timers right now and hard to find
That too.
part time. Yes.
All right, I got a motion and second, right?
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Yes.
This next one probably there's gonna be some discussion, so I'll read the motion first. I request a motion to approve an increase of $46,865 to a total of $384,965 for the Lifeline Emergency Vehicle Ambulance through Fund Superior Sales from proposal number 10107-0043. This increase is due to a sales team error in the original proposed agreement. So if you recall, a couple months ago, you approved the purchase of an ambulance and authorize me to sign the quoted sales proposal. We did that. And when we submitted it back to our sales representative, it was determined that there was an error made on the proposal. Pretty significant error in the cost. So we did meet with Mr. Mitch, who is here tonight. If you have questions of him or for him. We met with him, kind of came to the understanding of if we didn't want to go with the increase, that we were not going to have an ambulance from Lifeline. Talked to Katie about the legalities of the agreement that we signed. And I mean, there's clauses in there to allow for increases, especially with the volatility of the custom vehicle market right now. Because of that, Assistant Chief Watkins went back to the previous ambulance manufacturers that we had been working with when we made the last recommendation, updated quotes because the pricing increases. Actually got an additional vendor to provide a proposal, and Lifeline was still the lower bid, and we still think the best bid. I think even at 383, one came in at 403, 404, and 414 for.
So this is an
Lifetime.
annual increase. Is that correct? No,
It's just a cost increase for what the ambulance is going to cost. Yeah.
one-time increase. And these are, I'm having a hard time understanding. Is this something that we lease or how does that work?
No, it's a
Payment.
yeah, we purchased it. So 2 months ago, I think you approved a motion to purchase an ambulance
Yeah,
from this company. After that point,
that's the part I don't understand. So we made an agreement to purchase something with a one-time fee and now it's gone up by 46,000. Hold on, Mitch. Now it's gone up by 46,000.
yes,
And for what reason again?
there was an error on the proposal that was submitted to us for,
So we signed a
request.
contract with these guys,
On a quote.
yeah,
quote with these guys, and now they want 46K more?
And the quote that we signed was $46,000 less.
correct.
Am I to understand that?
Yes.
All right, Mitch, come up, speak your case.
Thank you for standing.
Absolutely.
People speaking in the crowd.
Come on up to the mic if you don't mind. Don't be nervous. This is not a big crowd, unfortunately. We have hundreds of thousands of people watching on the internet, but
All around the world.
that's right.
All right, I'm Dan Mitch. I'm with Lifeline, or Fund Superior Sales, which is a dealer for Lifeline. I originally sat down with the Assistant Chief Walker. First of all, I'm not here to fill nobody other employees. The fault's on my side, so don't take out everybody else. But anyway, I originally wrote the quote up and we started with the original quote and I had an estimation of 384,965. And that was the estimated quote. Then we sat down afterwards, you sit down and go over some adds and deletes. And when we did the add and deletes, the price went up to 384, or no.
Just add 46,000.
388,100. With me making a mistake, obviously what I did when I was typing, I hit a 3 instead of an 8. I don't know how I did it.
All right, so you dropped it by $4,000 and out of good faith, right?
Well, I
46 grand.
looking at selling the original quote. And so I'm gonna take all the ads and increases, the price increases that's happened, so I'm gonna drop down to the original estimated quote. I didn't catch it until after it was signed and sent back to me, and I started filling out the paper, send it to the factory. So
Fair enough. Craig, have you priced these out? Is this a fair price for this?
It is, yes. The other two ambulance manufacturers that we did price did come in higher. One was 404,000 and one was 414,000.
So it sounds like an honest mistake, isn't it?
it is.
We all make them, Dan. All right,
So I'm gonna make sure I understand. You said you're gonna drop it down to what again?
That's could be, I'm gonna drop it down to the estimated quote, which is 384,965 instead of the 388, which was supposed to be. when we get all the ads and price increases, so I'm awaiting that in good faith, because obviously I want to do this.
Okay,
Sounds fair.
Truthful, fairly, and that's the way I am.
thank you.
Everybody makes errors, Dan. Thank you for owning up. I think and it's still less. I mean, it's not like we haven't priced it out. We can't get the thing any cheaper anywhere else.
Correct. And one of the things that with one of the companies we looked at, they were 3 to 3.5 years. Lifeline, I think, is what, 2.5-ish.
2.5, 3 years, but we found out about a month ago, we got it 2.5 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
And would you guys like a copy of this?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Nope, we're good.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Sorry for calling you Mitch. It's like I was your high school football coach. Go sit down, Mitch. Give me 20 while you're at it. That's right. Thank you.
Did you gone up 46,885, the original quote will be 338,100.
Mm-hmm. What's your point?
Sorry.
What, I don't understand.
Okay, to go up $26,865. If you take that off the 384, the original quote will be 338. Is that correct?
Yes, that's. what
Yeah,
was
that's about
approved.
right.
Yes.
Right, but the point is the guy made a mistake and we can't get it any cheaper. So our opportunity loss at this point is not, we can't tell Mitch, Dan, to go stuff it because he made a mistake and go, there's no other opportunity to get this thing any cheaper. So this is a pretty good deal. He made a mistake. We don't have a whole lot of other options.
As long as it appears in the record that the original quote is 338,100.
Yeah, that'll be attached to the original motion that we voted on.
I think it was
a month ago.
February.
I got
Yeah.
you. Okay.
So those will be attached. They'll be part.
Thank you, Stan. I appreciate that. All right. Anything else related to this matter? Thank you, Dan. All right. So do I have a motion?
Motion?
Second.
Motion and second. Any more discussion? All right.
Let's do.
Let's do. Roll call.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. None of the rest
Thank
of
you,
mine
Dan.
will be any more difficult than that, I promise. That's the worst one of the night.
That's it.
I request a motion to approve the purchase of new gas monitors and associated equipment from All Safe Industries, GSA quote 27753 in the amount of $5,799.68. Noting this expense will be covered through a donation received at the end of the last year. This project is also part of a group purchasing initiative with 2 additional fire departments just to bring down the cost.
So moved.
Well, from where did the donation originate?
It's a gentleman that actually owns property on Palestine. He has donated, I would say at this point, over the last 3 years or so, probably $25,000 to us.
Wow.
So we've been getting sometimes 2 or 3 checks a year just to use for equipment and stuff to serve the community.
Has it been recognized in some way?
Yes, I've tried to reach out to him. I've sent him a thank you and I've gotten 0 response back.
Okay, I second the motion.
Motion and second. Discussion. Roll call.
First check we thought fraud,
Mhm.
the way the check is all.
You should be keeping an eye on that, Debbie.
Yeah.
All right. Motion and a second. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
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 I request a
Alright.
motion to approve the time block renewal for CSM Incorporated for Township IT services. And I messed that up in the amount of $3,000. Apologize.
What kind of time block is that?
It's what we do with the computer.
Right. I mean, like how many hours is that or whatever?
Depends on how much. Use it, how much.
So up to $3,000? Okay.
So should we do it with an amendment here? Because what's listed in the agenda does not state any kind of dollar figure.
And as it's written, as this read, this motion will be reflected in the minutes, so I think that would be sufficient.
Okay.
The motion as presented.
Yes, it's 3,000. It's on the invoice. It's just an error when I typed it.
Way to go. Way
Make
to
a
go, Brad.
motion?
You're sleep deprived. You can't
know.
get to
I don't even know what day it is.
All right. So I have a motion with the amendment of $3,000, of a second. Second, discussion, roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes,
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Yes.
I request a motion to approve the purchase of a Urimco Ram fan model EL 5518M for the new fire engine for Vogel Fire Equipment in the amount of $4,350. I mean, your packet, you should have some comparable quotes from other companies. So it's a new positive pressure fan for the engine. The current equipment we have will not fit in the compartments. So this is a fan that is battery powered, compatible with our other battery operated tools and things that we have.
Okay.
So moved.
second,
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Yes.
yes,
Yes. All right.
I request a motion to approve the payment of paramedic school tuition at Cincinnati State Technical College for Tyler Schmidt in the amount of $2,574.16, paid on March 6, 2025, as the last day payment was due. The amount is subject to reimbursement from the Assistance to Firefighters Grant Award at 95%. Tyler Schmidt was required to continue his paramedic school education as a condition of his employment prior to his resignation. So essentially, he was in school. We had an obligation to pay school. We did make that payment and it's eligible to receive 95% of it back on a previous AFG grant award that we've received.
so there was no service commitment beyond, was there a service commitment, in exchange for?
There was not, because the agreement for the funding was between the township and the Assistance to Firefighters Grant. So he was not out. The township policies that exist for tuition reimbursement are usually the employee pays up front and then gets reimbursed. But because of the terms of the grant, we had to pay for the grant and we had to submit back to the federal government to get that reimbursement, not the employee.
And those funds are available only during their employment.
It's only available if you receive the grant award. So we had applied for the grant, we received the grant award.
Okay.
And we actually had applied to send 2 individuals to paramedic school. And because of the pricing and the schools in this area as part of their funding formula, Tyler was actually a 3rd person we were sending on the same amount that we were awarded.
Did they stay?
The other 2, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
Yes,
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Search through it, Proler.
I request a motion to approve the purchase of a new dump truck from FIDA Freightliner, Cincinnati, in the amount of $105,873. The purchase is contained within the township 6-year capital improvement plan and is under the state bid.
So moved.
second,
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Mr. Campbell.
yes,
Yes.
I request a motion to approve the purchase of the outfitting of the new dump truck from W.A. Jones in the amount of $122,875. The purchase is contained within the township's 6-year capital improvement plan and will be using the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
So moved.
second,
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
I request a motion to approve the purchase of a new excavator from Bobcat Enterprises in the amount of $51,640.45. The purchase is contained within the township's 6-year capital improvement plan and will be using the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Program.
so moved,
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
yes,
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Eddie.
I request a motion to approve the board's 2025-2026 goals and objectives.
so moved,
Second.
Motion second, discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Campbell.
yes,
Mr. Freeman.
Yes.
Yes. Eddie.
I request a motion to recommend approval of the Beck George Road traffic plan with the following conditions. Number 1, The request is valid for 6 months, at which time the remediation team shall reapply to the board for additional time extension, which is anticipated in October the 8th at the latest. Number 2, Pierce Township Emergency Services shall be contacted immediately in the event that there is a disruption to roadway access along Beck Jordan Road. Number 3, the township reserves the right to revoke the approval should there be a deviation from the proposed plan. And based off of prior discussion, I think that there's probably an additional condition that this board might desire to have on there. As far as how the wording would go, you want us to take a packet drafting for you? Do you have something in mind?
It's the township road, right?
Yeah.
You mean for purposes of restoring the roadway and so forth?
Yes.
I mean, is that something you can do on the fly, or is that something you need some time to do?
I think we should include it here. And I would propose the following language. Number 4, a maintenance and repair strategy provided by, do we want to call it FP? or who?
I wouldn't be inclined to do a whole lot of anything until they come back and give us some money to repair the road.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Is that what you're getting at? So I wouldn't really do anything until they come back because they've had really free reign of this. I feel like they've gotten away with murder a little bit so far
Okay.
with that road.
So maybe like a cash escrow or something like that and see what they're amenable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's a
that'll
good
we
work.
idea.
want some money to fix the road
Yeah,
that they tore the crap out of
right.
to make money.
I think that's the way the motion should read, that they tore the crap out of it. So
There
we
you
want
go.
an escrow account to repair the crap.
There you go.
I'll work with our service director on determining what would be kind of an appropriate
Okay.
amount, and then
I like that.
The law director will have some language to support suggestions.
Contrary to mine.
Well, I like this.
To refine yours,
Refine.
only to refine,
Thank you.
I thought it was perfectly refined. I liked the word crap.
to further refine.
Further refine, okay. So do we need a motion on that sort of
Yeah,
you think with refined language?
Are you trying to pass this tonight or you want to come back with revised language?
I guess I'm asking Eddie, is that what you want? Is that what you want, Eddie?
yeah, I have it ready as a motion to be approved, and then if you're comfortable with us enforcing it, I think it would be helpful that we would make that cash escrow contingent upon approval by our service director to say that is actually sufficient, sort of thing.
Let me be clear,
But-
they're the ones that want the approval.
Yes.
We're not really benefiting from this. They are.
Right.
And so they want continued use of the road and they're the beneficiaries of that.
Right.
I don't think we should do anything. Go back,
Okay.
tell them, hustle us some money to fix the road. Let us know what that's gonna be, and we'll try to hurry up and make an approval thereafter so you can use it to your satisfaction. But at this point, it's sort of just been closed for like no reason. And it really kind of has slipped under our radar in some regards until some of the residents brought it to our attention, which is really, I'm not a big fan of, you know.
And for the record too, we invited them specifically to the meeting tonight. So they're aware that this is occurring.
And they didn't show. Well, I would agree. I think we should postpone this until we get language that's satisfactory to us all.
Table the motion.
Yeah, table the motion.
It works for me.
They can make an offer to perhaps provide some money to fix the road that they tore the crap out.
You refined it. Oh, then you put it back
And
in.
just put it back. All right. So how do you guys feel about that? Is that sound
Perfect.
satisfactory?
I'm perfect with that.
Agree, yes.
All right. So Eddie, you have anything else?
I do not know.
All right. Public comment, open floor discussion. Nothing? All right. Other business? We got other business? Okay, so we're gonna enter into executive session to discuss a couple things. So do you need to preface this with anything, Katie? Okay. So motion to adjourn into executive session as permitted by Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G8. Discuss confidential information related to an economic development prospect. Do I have a motion for that?
Motion,
Second.
Motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
yes?
Yes.
Yes. And then I have another motion to adjourn into executive session as permitted by Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G3 to conference with the township attorney to discuss imminent or pending litigation. Do I have a motion?
So moved,
Seconded.
Motion and a second, discussion, roll call.
yes?
Yes.
All right, well, we'll be venturing into executive session. There is not a guarantee we won't take action at the back end of this, but we probably won't. Feel free to stick around if you'd like.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
All right, so do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call?
Yes.
yes,
Yes. I don't think we have anything else on the agenda. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
motion,
Seconded.
Motion a second, roll call?
yes.
Yes.